So in my previous videos that you saw of my Supernatural and Legacies reviews, I'm doing another review today, which is going to be about Supergirl. So let's get on with the video and the review. So last year we heard that Jeremy Jordan is going to come back to set to reprise his role as Rin, and we all know we're excited to see him come back again since he last left off with the Legions. And so we first see that his doppelganger is like helped escape from the prison bus instead of going fully to prison. And we see him talking to Lex, and Lex gives him a pamphlet to Toy Khan, which apparently he wants Rin, the doppelganger, to do like some Toy Man kind of bombs Rin the Toy Khan, since apparently the Toy Man is known for doing that. And I'm just gonna call Rin's doppelganger Toy Man in this whole video, so we can tell by the difference. Because if I keep saying Rin and then Rin again, we're just gonna be both confused on which one I'm talking about. So I'm gonna talk about our Rin and then his doppelganger, which I'm gonna call Toy Man. So we see the toy convention, and Carl and William are walking together talking about how to take down Lex and stuff, and then they see Lex because Lex is there probably selling his Dunkles, Punkles, or whatever, Torbles or something of himself. So they talk, and then Lex kind of feels that William is trying to like something to him, and he takes Kara alone, and he tells Kara that if William doesn't stop trying to get some news on him or something to expose him, he's gonna do something that will affect his health. And of course, with Kara, she knew that was like some sort of threat that she knew that she had to take seriously. And she's like, I'm gonna find out whatever you have going on and stuff. And Lex ends up threatening something else, and he takes the recorder off of Kara's hand and says on record and says Kara down versus Supergirl. Then Kara takes it and breaks it so that no one would find out and stuff. And then Kara gets like a call from Alex saying that they have like a shooter at the Toy Con that she was at, and she says, "Oh, I'm already here," and Alex said that they're almost going to be there. So Kara walks out of where she was talking to Lex and she goes around this like huge chair, and she's already in suit, already prepared for anything. And then she hears one of the civilians saying up there, and she sees Rin, and she's like, Rin? Because she knows that Rin would never like shoot anyone or anything. But then she finds out that's his doppelganger, because out of nowhere, our Rin comes in the Legion ship, but the Legion ship is like tiny, like an actual toy ship, but then it grows bigger, and then we see we see like mist coming out of the door when the door opens, and Rin comes out, and he goes, saves Chester so that nothing happens. And then Kara and Alex sees Rin and says, Rin? And then Rin, without saying hello and stuff, of course, we all understand that he needed to catch the bad guy. And he's like, where's doppelganger me? I need to save my future and stuff. And they all turn back to the stairs where Toyman was at, and he wasn't there. And then Kara sees Toyman running away, and she like speeds fast. But then by the time she caught him, he was like a mannequin and stuff. Kara goes back to Alex and Rin, and Rin's like, I need to find him. My future depends on it. My wife, my kid, my daughter. And yes, that surprised me, like Alex and Kara, that out of nowhere we find out Rin is married. Rin has a daughter, which explains on Jeremy Jordan's Instagram post when he posted of him and the four, and there was a ring on his finger. So he had a ring on his finger. So that was really shocking to find out. But it was also more shocking to Kara and Alex because it's been like 2 years since they last saw him, and they found out this amazing news, and Ren's like, oh yeah, and then he shows them a picture of his wife and his daughter, and he said this is Mary and Alia. Well, he says their names, but we all know which one is Alia and which one is Mary, and he said Mary's turning 2 in April, and Kara and Alex, of course, said, "Aw." So then Brainy mentions that why don't we just get the Legion ship in the DO hangar, and Kara and Alex said, no, we don't want the Legion ship anywhere near Lex. And then, of course, Rin doesn't know what happened and said, you mean Lex Luthor, the good guy? So Alex mentions, like, we'll just let John tell you everything that happened. So they go to Jean's work, and then Rin's like, it's like a Sam class something kind of way, and they're like saying, Jean, where are you, or where Jean is, and John put on the intercom and said, I'm up here, and they see this like secret elevator opening, and of course, mind blowing to find out that he also did like a secret room for everyone to gather to when they do go to National City. So they go up, and of course when they get in the elevator, but before they got in the elevator, Rin's like geeking out, but in silence, he's speechless, and Alex like, don't push me, but in a shocking way. And once they got in there, they were still shocked. And then when they got up, Alex and Kara wanted to know about the tower, and Jean said 1 minute first because he wanted to hug Rin and say hello again and stuff. So they do that, and Rin's like, you get the best hugs, Papa Bear, which apparently I think that's what he called him when they were working together. And then John said that we're gonna find him, we're gonna stop him and save your future. And then Alex said again that what is this place and stuff. And John mentioned that after the crisis, Barry had a table for everyone that's a Paragon to gather up in case that they needed help to save the world. And he put in the hangar in Central City of Star Labs. And Rin's like, in the future, it's called Hall of Justice. And then Jean said, and I was thinking we should call this a tower. And of course, we didn't notice that the emblem he had of everyone was on this like wooden wall until they talk about everything. They talk about the toy man, how to do that. And of course, Brainy gets there because he's trying to like make sure no one doesn't know that he was there helping the toy man and Lex. And then they had Nia come over. Sorry, my eye. Something was in my eye. So Nia comes over, and of course she's trying to show that she's trying to move on from Brainy. She's trying not to let him get in her head. So they ask for her help to find out if she can find out what the Toyman is doing. She does that. She goes to sleep because she needs to, because I think that's how she does it. So when she does that, she sees Brainy, of course, and she's like, "You should not be in my head." And then she sees Brainy turn into a tiger, and then the tiger jump at her. So she wakes up there. The gang is wondering what she saw and stuff, and she's like, I saw a tiger, and then she walks past Brainy upset, and she's like, Wildcat, and of course we all know that it's hard for her to be there with Brainy in the room, but she's trying not to show it. She's trying to move on and not let him get into her head. And then Rin goes out in the balcony, talks to Nia, and he talks about her many great granddaughter Nira, and talk about what they do when as friends and stuff. And then he tells her to not let anyone dictate or tell her what she's worth. And then he thought of something. They go back in, and of course they go to the Toyman's location that he was in, and then they saw a newspaper of Andrea, which is Kara's boss, and then she remembers that William was gonna do a paper on it, a cover on it, and so they go there, and of course Andrea is doing her thing, and there was this guy in a tiger suit, or girl, and he's like, cheese, and Andrea's wondering what is happening right now. And of course, Kara got there in time and took the toy man by the suit and threw him to the ground. And then the head did come off, and everyone saw there was someone. It was a toy man, and the toy man starts playing this song, which is "Eye of the Tiger," and of course, my favorite song. And they started to like dance to it because it's my jam, of course. It's probably almost everyone's jam song. And then he's like, kitty number 2. And of course, I love the way he said that. But then, so, of course, Kara had to save everyone. And Rin was trying to go to his doppelganger, to Toyman, his doppelganger. But then he saw that one of the cat toys was trying to attack one of the civilians, and he had to deal with that first before he went to do the Toyman. And so Nia's like, you go get him, I got this. And so her, Alex, Brainy, and Kara deals with them while Rin is with his doppelganger, the Toyman, and he's like, don't do that or something. And then the Toyman's like, who's gonna stop me? And of course, my opinion was like, you. And then he sees Rin take off his mask, and he's like, what are you or something? And so Rin's trying to like persuade or talk to his doppelganger to give him the trigger and stuff, and he's like, what's the fun in that? And so he presses it, and Rin has his like protection field or something, so he activated it, and of course he's safe after the fire goes through him. And of course Kara hears it because of her super hearing or just the regular hearing, and she gets everyone out, and the only informality or collateral or something is only the toy tigers. Everyone's safe. And then Kara goes to Rin and said, hey Rin, and of course they tell Rin to check his future. It's intact still. It hasn't been changed after the first time they saw it change. And then Kara gets a call from William. She goes to Kako and she tells William, how come you weren't at the university like you were supposed to and stuff. She ends up being this weird friend for William. And so William's like, I followed Lex Luthor and stuff, and he took like a couple of pictures of Lex paying off the military to enter the area to go to the Legion ship. And so he's like, it might be enough to expose him for the man he is. And then Of course, Carl's like closer to him, like cause William's like right here, Carl's like close to him like this way, and then they have like some sort of moment that they end up like they have like some sort of moment where Carl ends up going around the desk and said that it's game night, and she tries to invite William over. William's like, no, I have dinner waiting for me. He picks up this Ziploc with like sandwiches in it, and Carl's like, that's a sad sandwich or something. And then she's like, no, come with me to game night. So William gets up from his chair. He's gonna take a sandwich, but then Carl's like, no, don't bring that with you. As a good friend, always looking out for your friends. So before we see Carl's apartment, we see Brainy and Win talking, and of course Win knows something's up with Brainy because what happened, and then Brainy finally admits that he's working with Lex to take down him, and but by helping him get information of the Leviathans and to get on the time ship. And of course, Win gets mad that Brainy did that when he didn't think of that it might hurt his family. And of course, Brainy ends up saying that he's sorry, he didn't mean to do that, and he really wanted to be so close to Nia, but he can't because he has to take Lex down by being cruel, being cold. So he asked Win and said, you still consider me as an old friend? And Win's like, yes, I still do. And considering what happened, everything still worked out. And so they go to Carl's apartment, of course, and we see them like laughing, cheering, and then we see them chattering and stuff, and Nia's like, oh, I'm better at Jenga than you and something. And of course, what's Alex's girlfriend's name? So Alex's girlfriend puts her arm around Alex, and she was so about to like show who's boss, but they did it in a funny way. And so William's like, cool glasses, Marty, and of course I was like, Marty? And then I was like, oh, they didn't tell him about Rin's actual, so Rin's like, yeah, it's prescription, and Kara ends up doing the glasses thing too. And then Kara's like, it's my turn, and then one of them's like, then Alex probably said that she sucks at this or something, probably that. And so she did. Then by the time the Jenga tower is gonna fall, William catches it, and of course everyone's booing because he caught it instead of making it fall. And he's like, "Isn't that what good friends do, where they catch it before it falls and whatnot?" And Carter's like, "Yeah, but every time when it falls, we take a shot." So she's like, "I'm just gonna do it." So she like makes the tower go down, and then they take a shot. And of course, that was like, and she's like, two new friends and old friends. And then we see the last part of the episode, which is together with Carla's place, where we see the DEO, and we see two of the DEO agents doing like inventory of the Toymans. Sorry, I needed a burp or something. We see them do inventory of the Toyman's stuff, but then when they leave, they didn't know that one of the cases that had the Toyman stuff was gonna lift up, because I saw something red blinking and it had it lift up, and then the Toyman's like, "It's time to play," and I'm like, "Oh shoot, I wonder what's gonna happen." So hopefully we get to see them. Hopefully we get to see what happens more with Toyman, with Win, and with everyone else. Because I did see part 2 of the promo where William asked Carl, but then Carl's asking him if it's a date and stuff. So hopefully we get to see what's happening between those two, since who knows, probably a new romance is flowing in the airs between those two. Because of course, as I mentioned, Kara and William had a moment, and in that moment, I kind of thought they were gonna kiss or something, but then they didn't. So yeah, I really want to see what is gonna happen in part 2 with Rin, his doppelganger, Lex and Lena, the Leviathans, and Kara and William, and then all of them. So yeah, that's my review on it. But overall, the episode was really great. Like literally, that's what I watched Supergirl for. Shoot. I hope you guys love this review as much as I love doing it for you. Of course, there's gonna be many future reviews in future videos. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, tap the notification bell to always be notified of weekly videos. You can comment down below what else videos I should do in the future, or that you would love to see me do in the future. And if you want, you can follow my social medias. If you want to follow me on this journey, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.